We're ready to go.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm calling to order this special meeting of the Douglas County School District Board of Education on September 24th at 4 o'clock, or I'm sorry, at 4:30 p.m. We will begin with roll call. Director Chansha Shore is absent and asked me to share that she is absent due to a death in her family. So we have and also continue to wish Director Chansha Shore and her family well. Director Graziano?
Here.
Director Hansen?
Here.
Director Holtzman?
Here.
Director Lung is also absent. Director Meek?
Here.
And Director Ray is here. 5 board members do indeed make up a quorum of the board. And so with that, I will ask us to move on to our next item, which is to accept the agenda. Is there a motion?
I move.
Second.
Moved by Meek, seconded by Graziano. Any further discussion? Seeing none, let's vote. Graziano?
Aye.
Hansen?
Aye.
Holtzman?
Aye.
Meek?
Aye.
Ray, aye. That passes unanimously. The purpose of this meeting is to continue our process in naming the interim superintendent. Just as a recap, I will share for public consumption that on September 8th, at our board meeting, the board initiated the process for naming an interim superintendent through nomination of potential candidates. A screening process was then conducted on Saturday, September 19th. Semi-finalists were named and publicly interviewed. Those semi-finalists were Dr. Damon Brown and Mr. Corey Wise. The board voted 4-3 to move forward Dr. Brown's name as the sole finalist. Upon being informed of the board's action and as part of the vetting process, Dr. Brown informed me that he had an alcohol-related incident a year ago. As Dr. Brown acknowledged the rising concerns of the community regarding this, he withdrew his name for further consideration, noting that it was not his intent to create a disruption and take away from the critical work of the district. So our purpose today, directors, is to determine our next steps in naming an interim superintendent. From my analysis, we really have 3 possible options. One is we could move forward with another sole finalist for consideration. 2, we could expand the nomination process and timelines to consider other potential candidates. And then 3, we could also maintain the emergency succession plan that currently is in place, in which Assessment and Data Officer Matt Reynolds and Executive Director of Schools Corey Wise are covering and coordinating superintendent responsibilities. Those are the 3 options or scenarios that I have analyzed as possibilities. I would open it to discussion as far as, are there other options or considerations that we would like to discuss tonight from any board directors? All right, seeing that there's no additional options to be considered, I would also then open it up to discussion in terms of what option would you like to advocate for us to move forward on? Go ahead, Director Holtzman, and then Director Graziano.
Director Ray, I would like to advocate, and I'm happy to make a motion. I'm not sure if this is the time or if you're just wanting discussion. Make the motion.
Start with discussion and then, yes, and then we can see if once we're finished with discussion, we can entertain.
Okay. That's fine. I just wanted to clarify. So I would like to advocate that we select Mr. Corey Wise as our sole finalist. Mr. Wise is proud to be part of the DCSD family and to serve our students. He's called Douglas County School District home for almost 25 years. And for the past 20 years, I have been a part also of the Douglas County School District family as a parent and volunteer, and now as a volunteer board member. And I've watched Mr. Wise champion the needs of our students, whether it be his passion to bring a welcoming, enriching culture to Legend High School, or his willingness to travel to China and live there for 6 weeks on multiple summers to make sure that our students have the life-changing opportunity of participating in a foreign language exchange, or his commitment to bring necessary financial resources to each of the students in our district. Mr. Wise shows incredible compassion for and dedication to our students. This long-term investment in our students and in our schools and community will be an undeniable asset for him as an interim superintendent. I'm going to give other people the opportunity to speak, but I also just wanted to identify that beyond that, I was reflecting on what other qualities we really need at this time. And I think he possesses those also. I believe his humility, his courage, and his ability to communicate effectively will also be essential to a successful leadership. And I'd be happy to talk more about that if needed.
So Director Holtzman's let us off with a very compelling reason of why she would advocate for the first option of moving forward in Mr. Wise as our sole finalist. Before I go to taking a motion, is there anyone that would differ with that approach as far as feeling like that we can indeed move forward with that option? Anyone have a different approach that they would like to advocate? All right, seeing none, I think Director Graziano, I saw your hand next, so we can certainly entertain motions at this time.
Well, I'm just going to say, as someone who, as I mentioned during the last meeting, it was an incredibly difficult decision. But I will say unequivocally, as we regroup here today, it was never a question for me to support Corey as the interim. So the thing, I'll just add one thing that I just most admire in my conversations and speaking with Corey throughout the last couple of years, getting to know him, just more as like two dads knocking around. It's just his wanting to roll up the sleeves to get things done. I really respect that in people, and I think that's just something among many qualities that Director Holtzman mentioned. I'm excited about having Corey up there, just rolling up his sleeves, getting the job done. So with that, I'm happy to make a motion to make supporting Corey Wise as the next interim superintendent of Douglas County School District.
And just to wordsmith your motion a little bit, Director Graziano, you're really making a motion to move Mr. Wise forward as the sole finalist.
Sorry.
Interim superintendent position. Very good. If that's amendable by you?
Yes.
All right, very good. All right. So motion's been made by Director Graziano. Is there a second?
I'd like to second that. And also just add that I've had the pleasure of knowing Corey and working with Corey in the past. I was able to work with Corey when he was opening up Legend High School, and I saw firsthand how he just rolled up his sleeves, like Director Graziano said, and did everything that was needed to get the school open and running. And his positive attitude was just infectious, and everyone on his staff, pulled together. And I feel like those are attributes and qualities that we're looking for right now. I cannot emphasize how important strong leadership is right now during times of uncertainty, where our entire community is really dealing with high levels of stress and anxiety. Our students, our families, teachers, staff, they want to feel valued and supported by their superintendent. And I believe Corey will do that. They want and deserve to have clear goals and expectations, decisive decision-making, transparency, frequent communication. These are all areas where I have high level of confidence in Corey. So I'm very excited to second the motion.
Very good. Motion's been made and seconded by Director Meek. Other further discussion? I would just jump in as well. I think I would echo a couple of things that Director Graziano and Director Holtzman stated, but certainly as we shared at our last meeting, as Director Graziano said, that our vote was not indicative of a lack of support for Mr. Wise. As I shared, and I think other directors shared, that regardless of who we move forward in this position would receive 110% support from us as directors. And certainly as since that meeting, I have received a number of communications from staff and community who have said things like, why aren't we putting one of our own in this role? And as I look at Mr. Wise's dedication and loyalty to our system, Director Holtzman captured that well, but when you look at 24 years in our Douglas County School District, where he began as a student teacher, was a contracted teacher for several years, a coach, an assistant principal, a principal in opening a new school, a director of schools, and then currently the executive director of schools. I don't know how much more homegrown we can get than a Corey Wise. And so I think our community and our staff have certainly made a compelling reason in my mind to say that this is what we're about. We have outstanding leadership in our county, in our school district, and we ought to be using that leadership and tapping it to continue to help us through the choppy storm that we're in right now. So I would just again certainly echo all the statements that have been made in support of Mr. Weiss, and certainly also support the motion and the second tonight. Any further discussion before we vote? All right, seeing no further discussion, let's go ahead and vote. Director Graziano.
Aye.
Director Hansen.
Aye.
Director Holtzman.
Aye.
Director Meek.
Aye.
And Director Ray is an aye. That motion passes unanimously. And it just so happens we do have Mr. Wise here with us tonight. And so Mr. Wise, we're not expecting a State of the Union address by no means, but I also want to give you an opportunity to have the final word regarding the action that we took tonight to recommend that you serve as our sole finalist in moving forward. So Mr. Weiss, go ahead.
Wow. Thank you all. I respect and appreciate the kind words. More important than the vote, the decision, the process is what we do from here. I love Douglas County. I appreciate and value all the people that make up the Douglas County School District, and we're going to work hard to continue to make us better, to get us the voices needed and listen to people and build everyone in and find ways to make us stronger. And so I just want you to know I'm humbled. Appreciate all of the people out there that we'll get to pull up our sleeves together and find our process together. And it's not about the past. It's not about right now. It's really what we're going to do moving forward. And I just, I'm one person of a greater piece. To Matt Reynolds, as we've been a part of this, I can't say enough to, a colleague that is strong and so smart. And so Matt, I appreciate you. We'll continue to need you and build on you, and so many others around that piece. But as a shout out to Matt, he's really taken on a heavy lift and doing more than just his job. So to everybody out there, it's a challenging year. As I said before, the people make the difference, and how we persevere, find resilience, mend, and grow from this and grow forward. So thank you, and humbled and appreciate and excited for this opportunity.
Very good. Well said, Mr. Weiss. And I would certainly echo the accolades to Mr. Reynolds for your willingness to jump in and help cover during this time. And I know I look at your face and I see a little bit of relief, I think, in knowing that some of that pressure will be somewhat removed, although you've heard the gauntlet played with Mr. Weiss saying, well, it's not over yet because he needs you to continue to support in that role as a cabinet member. So, but again, on behalf of the board, as Mr. Weiss said, I can't thank you enough for stepping into the situation and providing us with some outstanding leadership during that time. At this point, directors, and just again for the public's understanding, is that we do enter into a 14-day waiting period that's required by statute. The purpose of the vetting period, or the purpose of the waiting period, is to do additional vetting to allow for public feedback, and for us also to begin developing a contract for the interim superintendent position. Certainly I'm anticipating on October 6th that this board will have an opportunity to consider an interim superintendent contract moving forward. And although the October 6th meeting is out of our 14-day window, there's a few more days beyond that. It would be my hope that this board would provide me the authorization to deliver that contract to Mr. Wise once the 14-day window has been completed. So that's really our next steps, board. before we go to adjournment. And holy cow, this is going to be a record-setting time for us to have a meeting, and I think this goes down in the record books. But board directors, any other comments for the good of the group tonight before we take a motion to adjourn? Director Holtzman?
Yeah, Director A, thank you. I do have a brief comment, and I have a request for our community, and I appreciate you letting me share this. And I'm going to read it so that I don't go on forever. Many of us have had the pleasure of living in Douglas County for many years, through times in Douglas County School District that some of us may consider great times, and some of us may consider not so great times. No matter your perspective on the past, I hope that you will join me in being future focused now for the sake of our students. Mr. Wise needs and deserves our support. Please join me in doing so. I am not asking you to cease thoughtful and constructive criticism. This is one form of support that is actually essential to our success. I would, though, ask that you evaluate what it means to be constructive, to be useful, and to be helpful. I would suggest that if your motivation is to affect real positive change, which I know that we all want for our students, this is not best done by venting and name calling on social media. Finally, please understand that our DCSD employees are working tirelessly, and they do so because they genuinely care for each and every student. Thank you for considering this, and thank you in advance for supporting Mr. Weiss and thereby supporting all of our students. And I do really want to quickly thank, just as you have for the board, the people who have stepped up in this time and who are continuing to do so. And when I say work tirelessly, I know I speak for the whole board. You know, I've never seen a group of people that work harder for something that they care about, and I really appreciate that.
Well said, Dr. Holtzman, and what a great summary and a challenge for all of us to really, as Mr. Weiss said, roll up our sleeves and do this together, because our kids are worth it. So thank you for those words of wisdom from the community members' comments that you just read. Director Hansen, please go ahead.
Thank you. This is a pretty flat, boring question after Director Holtzman's statement, but I just wanted to clarify if as a board, we will have an opportunity to discuss the terms of the contract being offered to Mr. Weiss, or if you are going to handle that. Just make sure I understand fully where we are as a board.
Sure, thanks for that question, Dr. Hansen. Yes, indeed. Directors will have an opportunity to look at the drafting stage of that contract, as well as Mr. Wise will be part of that process as well. So you will actually view that draft prior to it being posted for our meeting on October 6th and made public.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You bet. Directors, any other needs or comments before we take a motion to adjourn? All right, seeing none. Motion to adjourn.
Second. Or motion to move to adjourn.
No, you're right. That could have been a motion for me. So, but I'll take your motion, Director Graziano, to adjourn. Is there another second?
I'll second it.
All right, seconded by Director Holtzman, and I will do a roll call quickly. Director Graziano.
Aye.
Director Hansen.
Aye.
Director Holtzman.
Aye.
Director Meek.
Aye.
Director Ray. Aye. Our meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening. Thank you, Nate, Mark, Chris, Sandy. Nice work on hosting. Thank you very much.
Hey, you're right. I think 18 minutes is a record.
Is it 18? I wasn't sure what the exact minute is, but we now have a standard.
Well done. Well done. Every meeting from here on out, 18 minutes.